And joining us tonight, Mick Mulvaney, former acting White House Chief of Staff for President Trump and NewsNation political contributor. Mike Sachs, legal analyst, who's worked as a correspondent for the Huffington Post and Fox 5 New York. And Nomiki Konst, a former Bernie Sanders surrogate and director of Matriarch, a national organization focused on supporting progressive, working-class women running for office. All right, Mick, smart strategy?
I'm with you. I'm a little surprised by it. I was expecting Ron, when he first got in the race, to sort of say, look, I'm Donald Trump without the baggage, right? I'm Donald Trump without the hush money payments to porn stars. That's where I thought he was going.
Yeah.
So I'm a little surprised, but it might make some sense. Keep in mind, I think DeSantis is actually a pretty good politician. So maybe they figured out that Donald Trump has only been a Republican, the last 5 or 6 years. So he doesn't have this long-standing sort of history as being a Republican. Maybe they think they can get
And it seems to me it's sort of Ron DeSantis' effort to introduce himself, in effect, to conservatives, right? To say, don't worry, I'm with you on all the key issues.
Well, I don't know. Why would they believe him? I mean, Donald Trump, sure, he's been a Republican for so many years, but he's already proven to be a Republican. He already has the brand ID, and that took him so far with those early states that were populist. If Ron DeSantis wants his little slice, and this is a numbers game, it doesn't have to be all the conservatives, it doesn't have to be all the populists, he just has to have a little bit here, a little bit there for those early states. But I disagree. I don't think he's great with people. He doesn't answer the press's questions. He's very cold when it comes to those personal, relatable moments. Not that Donald Trump is great, but he had a way in those early populist states.
Donald Trump is actually great at that. I mean, Donald Trump is actually great in interacting with people, whether you agree with him or you disagree with him. And that may be a big advantage that he has. But Mike's smart strategy?
Well, the reason Trump maintains such control over the Republican Party is because of that charisma. You know, absent that charisma, he would just be
Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis. That's totally sorry. I was trying to remember. But absent that charisma, he wouldn't have been able to have a vice-like grip over the party and make it a cult of personality that it is going into the Republican primary. And DeSantis can try as he might to try peel off voters from Trump's right flank, left flank that exists, or his center. But this is Trump's party now, and there's no way around it.
I don't know if it's Trump's party. Now, keep in mind, I mean, Trump, he bungled the abortion question in the CNN interview, right? Because he attacked DeSantis for signing the bill in Florida, and then when he was asked, would you sign the same bill, he would expect the answer to be no.
But he attacked the guy who signed it. It seems Donald Trump has a unique ability to say one thing one day and something completely different.
You've noticed that?
Yeah,
I'm curious about stories he might have.
A couple weeks later, in a way that no other political figure can do and get away with it.
He said it on the interview. He said, I know I said this about the debt ceiling when I was the president, but now that I'm not the president, I'm saying the exact opposite because I'm not the president. He can get away with that. Look, but go back to the question about DeSantis. Yeah, he's got issues. They know he's not as charismatic. By the way, you're going to see him and his wife on stage a lot more because she is fabulous. They're going to end up.
But she's not running.
No, but they'll be campaigning as a team. In fact, if you've seen the photos this week,
they're not
super non-elite. Super non-elite. I mean, they look really
down to earth.
But they're together.
Keep
in mind, Donald Trump is not going to be running with Melania next to him. Okay. I don't think Nikki Haley's going to be running with Michael. Tim Scott's unmarried. He has something that none of these folks have. So they found a differentiating factor in Casey DeSantis, and she is fabulously charismatic. She's fantastic.
Let me play. This is DeSantis talking. This is last week, sort of suggesting that Trump is soft on crime.
Under the Trump administration, he enacted a bill, basically a jailbreak bill. It's called the First Step Act. It has allowed dangerous people out of prison who have now reoffended and really, really hurt a number of people.
You know, again, I just don't see how this is going to lead him to be able to peel off more Trump voters.
And he voted for the First Step Act, I believe.
Who?
That I don't know if he was there or not. I think it was in 2019, and he might have been gone by then. I could be wrong about that.
Could be, yeah. But
he was governor of 2018.
Right.
2018.
Yeah, and this was, I think it was pretty early on, but he might have been a supporter of it. But I think he was on board with that conservative move to have criminal justice reform.
But we're having these logical arguments that just don't hit that base electorate that they need to, like you said, Donald Trump is Teflon. He could say one thing.
So what does DeSantis need to do?
He just needs. There's so many candidates in this race right now. He needs to get down and dirty with the people. And right now, even watching that,
what does that mean?
He needs to get dirty. He needs to put on some overalls, go to Iowa, go eat some corn on a stick. It's called politics. It's called the politics we've had for the last 80 years in this country.
I think a lot of folks miss this, is that the first couple of races are different than the next couple of races. I think Ron DeSantis is going to do really well in Florida, the bigger states and so forth, but you're right. Iowa, these people I've been there a couple times for different races, right? They take this seriously.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.